what I keep seeing as we're doing reciprocal vision, which is my most recent name for eidetic empathy imaging, which means seeing ourselves in each other's shoes and sharing those images in a way that allows transformative evolutions to take place for all of those involved. That it's as if each person's image sheds light out to the other people, and it lights up images in other people's imagination. And when those other people share their images, then their inner light shine out to the person doing the presenting image. And so there's the most beautiful thing of these inner lights evolving and mingling in a way that is developing more and more, elevating common ground for everybody involved. So it's the solution to binary thinking, just to put it very briefly, because it brings out our natural coordination and complementary nature, and relieves us of being stuck in antagonistic, argumentative, us and them type situations. This is the essential dynamic that, as I see it, that is the main thing that we are trying to bring to light. And it's unknown, unfamiliar, unexpected to other people, because they know things like free association or whatever. But this is not that. And so that's I'm so glad you opened to this. Much of the beauty of it is giving each other time, to take the time we need to allow the image to grow in its own sweet time, because that's where the coherence arises. It's so hard to, since we're accustomed to being pressed for fast answers, the idea that real, true, successful answers only grow slowly. They may jump out at you at the end, but there's this long, slow progression that lines you up and puts you in the way of being able to finally stand up.
Would
And
you like to share an example, now that we're talking about it, of how that has worked for you in your life?
okay, I'll tell you something now. I come from a broken home, which is to say, kind of near total discombobulation and dislocation and depression, manic depression, and a few other difficulties. And I have really outgrown all of them. And I have generated something like an inner family with a few figures like Shiva and Ganesh and my father, and this friend I've known for, I guess, around 25 years now. I realized that this image had given me what I've been working my way towards, but only kind of getting glimpses of. So this morning I just woke up and I asked myself to see him, and I see him, and he is standing tall and serene. Tall, strong, and serene. And as I look at him, I feel this calm settling down throughout me, and I gradually feel something like sequoia tree trunk strength slowly surging up in me. Now, this person lives in very trying circumstances, as I do. But in the course of our relationship, and he lives at a distance, we have been able to foster this awareness so that this image could come through in me now. And it's a reflection not only of his recent ability to show forth that upstanding inner strength that has been co-opted by reality, so to speak. But it's a reflection of the fact that other images in me, the tree image, the sequoia, the giant sequoia image, my mother looking up at the giant sequoia image, and then the giant serpent. A lot of images in my imagination have been working towards this, but only this morning did I get this. The pure power of it, pure calm of it. And it's really it's made me teary. It's really so marvelous because I just come out of so much commotion. So that's my response to your request. How's that? You want to share your response to my response?
That song sparrow keeps singing from up in the tree over here. Sure. I can see what comes up. Hearing you describe how this sense of tall, strong, yet serene, hearing how you saw that image of your friend,
Mm-hmm.
and then how that shows up inside yourself is very moving, especially hearing that it's something that has been in the making for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
With these different images you've had, the sequoia tree, that was a long time ago, right? What was that,
Oh well,
30 years ago?
it more
35 years ago?
the initial sequoia tree, but the sequoia tree has been weaving in and out of my imagery for 40 years.
Yeah, right. And then that image of your mother
Mm-hmm.
that took a while to show up
Mm-hmm.
also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let me just see what that stirs in me. This song sparrow is singing here.
Yes, I'm glad.
And it's so full of life. Um, very much in the present. And then I also just found out about an hour or two ago that one of my best friends for decades passed away this afternoon. So I'm just taking all that in, feeling it, feeling this warmth in my chest, feeling into some serenity also. Um,
So what are you concentrating on?
well, I'm just letting things come together in me and take shape. But I just see my friend John's face, my friend who just passed. And it's as if John has just heard everything that you shared.
Mm-hmm.
He would really get it. He really gets it in this image. I just see him sitting peacefully. I just I I sense his enthusiasm.
What happens in your body when you sense his enthusiasm?
I s- I s- I I feel it as well. Feel it across my shoulders, in my face. I've been thinking about John and kind of what his essence is, has been, and he really has this prospective consciousness that you speak about so much.
Mm-hmm.
He was such a lived with such vitality,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just feeling that combination of his zest for life,
Mm-hmm.
his curiosity, his enthusiasm, his astonishment, and getting that real forward moving sense of him, but also that sense of John. I can see his face and imagine him uh, in a very peaceful state as well. I see a particular look on his face, and it brings a calm kind of smile to my face as well. Just an air of reverence. Yeah, John was a real activist and always involved in trying to protect things that were important and beautiful and valuable, and stand up for people who were um, at a disadvantage, protect nature, protect historic buildings, you name it. And just feeling how at the root of all that was his love of life, his caring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what comes up hearing your image.
Okay, so knowing you, if this doesn't make you uncomfortable, I would just like to ask you if you can see how the image that I told you um, affected what you just saw.
Yeah,
How,
it
how did that, how did my influence your perspective?
just really set the tone for it when I really pause and really take in what you're sharing
Mm-hmm.
rather than just hearing it and preparing my response.
Mm-hmm.
When I really just take in your image that you're sharing and your reaction, it just it's just like creating something inside myself. It's like I'm allowing myself to be moved
Mm-hmm.
by what you're sharing. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and specifically the image of your friend, these different qualities.
Mm-hmm.
I just was left with this feeling of someone who's dignified
Mm-hmm.
and calm and strong, even though they're in a challenging situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that yeah, that just really it's like it kind of primed the pump for my own imaging, my own images that wanted to emerge.
Okay, I like the way you speak of the what I might call the emerging sense of presence, because I think that is, and it has shown forth in several of the last videos that we've made, how the imaging allows us to breathe in a way that makes us feel more and more whole, and enlarges our sense of self and our sense of inner strength and presence. But it is taking the time to let that presence, which has really been squeezed out of our awareness altogether, take place. And so for people to understand that the timing is just a way of like holding a hand out to let this presence come into being, and then bringing out aspects of ourselves that have been sat on and trampled over. Yeah, so I think that
Yeah.
that is coming through very beautifully now, and that's very nice.
I don't know if we've ever in our discussions used the word grace, but to me that's in alignment with my sense of what grace is. It's just like pausing and trusting that whatever needs to emerge is going to emerge.
Mhm.
If I have just the patience and the calmness and the courage, um,
And the openness.
and the openness, and it's kind of playing in and out there. But as you were sharing, this great shaft of light came through your window and lit up your rainbow colored
My magnetic.
shirt there. So that's part of what's happening in this living moment right now with us being in connection.
Mhm.
That play of light, seagulls out over the ocean, the song sparrow up in this apple tree here, all that's part of what's coming in to the picture,
All right.
what's emerging.
All right.
And I imagine that if your teacher was tuning in, if Octor was tuning in, he'd be pleased by all this.
Mm-hmm.
Never met him, but that's my sense of him.
Yes, I'm looking at him now, and I see him at his desk, and he is looking up, and he is pleased. And that brings up a question that I don't think we can discuss very satisfactorily, but I do, or I don't have a way of presenting it very satisfactorily at the moment, but it is pertinent given your friend's death, that in these, I don't know, cascade of losses that so many of us are encountering closer or farther away, this practice, because these images are always in touch with our bodies and making the body-mind connection, enables us to bring up a sense of presence within ourselves, not only of ourselves, but of other people who are important to us and other creatures who are important to us. So that we're not at a total loss. These presences come alive within us to give us the strength of standing and withstanding. And that, I think, is a magnificent, glorious talent that everybody would like to have. And they'd be very pleased to discover that almost all of us have that ability to do that. Whether we're in third grade or in intensive care or in senior center or wherever. So back to behold and getting a hold of ourselves, because that's when we can be so in touch with all the influences that we are able to get a hold of ourselves in a way that gives us standing, then we've really done something. To behold. Yeah. That gives us like a good, generous feeling of being and being and relating. Yeah. So I'm really happy that I was able to convey that image to you and have it work for you, so to speak. So there is to see how these images enable us to see what the idiom gifts and powers of imagination means, because they are the gifts and powers of imagination, both the surprising of the gift and the power.
Yeah.
Mhm. Huh. Okay.
It's powerful. I feel different than before you shared that image, for sure. I feel more whole. I feel more, I don't know if I can find the words, but I just feel, I feel better is a very simple word to use. I feel more connected with myself and more connected with everything than when I sat down here.